We need to stop with the expectation that people that work in the charity sector, whether they be staff or influencers, etc., should be working for free or working for peanuts. This is something that I've heard in my 12 years of working in the charity sector, alhamdulillah. And majority of the time, it's from the Muslim community itself. They expect the brothers and sisters that put their time and effort in to work for free. And I believe this is totally wrong. The reason why I'm speaking about this right now is because it's back on our timelines again. In the case of a sister that, is an influencer and has raised money for charities, and people are going at her and saying to her, you didn't do it for charity, you did it because you're getting paid. But a question that I want to throw to you guys before I go into the full topic is, when you look at your children and you think and envision their future, 9 out of 10 of you, and I'm making this statement, a bold statement, will not want your children to work in the charity sector, or even some of you would even say you don't want your children to work in the Muslim sector. Why? Because you know that the charity sector doesn't pay right. Or you may say, my child should do that, in their spare time, but I want them to get qualifications and be a doctor and lawyer, etc. But as Muslims and as an ummah, if we want our sector to survive, if we want it to thrive, a sector, remember, that is a pillar of our religion, that literally gives out as zakat, that is taking our sadaqah and giving it to the needy, whether that be here, whether that be, because there's so many charities that do so many different things. We need people that have qualifications. We need people that are putting their time and effort in. And the only way you're going to get people like that is if you pay them fairly. Going back to the influencer, she raised an amount for charity. Alhamdulillah, she raised a big amount. Now, people have a misconception that because this sister raised this amount and she gets paid a wage for doing so, that means that she's not doing it fi sabilillah. That's number one. And I've heard this so many times, especially when I'm talking to people about why they believe that Muslims or people that work in the charity sector shouldn't get paid. They say to me, it's fi sabilillah, it's an action that you should do for the sake of Allah. And I think they half understand what that statement means. The statement, yes, fi sabilillah means doing something for the sake of Allah, but it means the personal intention is to do it for the sake of Allah and hope Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts it from them. It does not mean doing something for free. When we're talking about influencers who have put their time and effort into building their platforms, and we have to give credit where credit's due, they should be given the right amount and looked after for putting their time and effort in. Whether that be just in Ramadan or outside of Ramadan or wherever it is. There is a misconception though. People think that when these influencers are raising money for a certain cause, they are taking their wage from that cause. And this is not the case. Charities have ways and means of getting admin costs for their charity to run. Whether that be gift aid, tax money that was supposed to go to the government, and when you click that button, it goes to the charity. Or whether that be, sponsors, people that actually give, subhanAllah, a lot of money to allow a charity to run. Or whether that be charities that, have a admin fee. All of those will go towards the person that is doing that job. So going back to my main point, if we want our sector to thrive, if we want the charity sector to be a sector for Muslims to look at and say, I want to do something for the sake of Allah and do something that is going to help the ummah, and I know that I will be looked after in the process, then we need to get rid of this expectation.